Good morning, Wisconsin neighbors. Today we had the opportunity to continue our interviewing of public officials in the city of Peoria. Earlier today we had a chance to speak to Mayor Kathy Carlott, and now we are honored to be able to speak and to interview Councilwoman Bridget Binsbacher, who's the councilwoman for the Mesquite District. And Bridget's going to give you a little bit of information about herself, and I have some specific questions for Bridget that I think we who live in the Wisconsin area will find very interesting. So, good morning, Bridget. And Bridget, why don't you give them a little background, how long you've been a city councilwoman, how large the district, the Mesquite district is, which you believe me, which also includes Lake Pleasant, and go ahead.
Okay, so well, first of all, thank you for having me here. It's great to be here and be able to share a little bit about myself and the city of Peoria and the Mesquite district. So I have been a council member since March of 2015, and I was elected in March of 2015, but prior to that, very engaged in the community. And so Peoria is approximately 173,000 people, and we have close to 30 folks in the Mesquite district and 26 square miles, and including in that area is Lake Pleasant. So we have the Mesquite district runs from Happy Valley Road all the way to beyond Lake Pleasant. We cross over into Maricopa County and a little bit into Yavapai County, which is kind of unique. A lot of folks don't know that. And the Mesquite district is actually larger than all of the other districts combined. Peoria is broken up into 6 districts. So there is a lot of development yet to happen here. We are a fraction of the way built out. We have a lot of state land to develop down the road. We have one opportunity to get this right, and I think that's what makes this job so exciting. So I am loving my work. My primary role is really to be the voice of the people here in the Mesquite district and work with other council members cooperatively, which we're doing very well. We have a fantastic council to really do what's in the best interest of the city of Peoria and all the constituents that we serve. I love the job. It's a great job.
Bridget, let me ask you a couple questions. I mean, some people, I know one of the favorite ones that you've answered before. What is going on with the structure that was going to be the hospital? And for those who may not be aware where that structure is, if you go directly north of Happy Valley on Lake Pleasant, you'll see a metal structure that at one time was going to be a full-service hospital. And it's kind of a better word to describe now, a rather huge eyesore. What is the latest update with that?
So once again, that property is in bankruptcy. So what happens when a property is in bankruptcy like that, it goes into a stay mode where it's protected. We had gotten to the point, thanks to citizens, thanks to our legal department, our city's leadership team, we had gotten to a point where we had ordered them to tear it down. We had been enforcing code for over a year, getting the owners to comply with different safety standards. And they were doing that, and then we got to a point where we were able to order them to tear it down. And just days before we were pulling permits to go in and tear it down ourselves, they filed for bankruptcy under new ownership, and so that then protects that property, so we can't go in there and tear it down. We can't really do anything until the court says that we can. And Peoria was fully prepared to go in there and tear it down and then lien the property, so that when they sold the property, we would recover those funds. The citizens were behind it. We had a lot of input. And so now we're kind of in a holding pattern again. The owner says that he wants to build a hospital there, that it's still a viable project, that he still has investors that are willing to invest in that property and a future hospital. At this point, that remains to be seen. We're waiting to hear what the court has to say and what our next steps will be, but we're watching it very closely. We're taking inquiries from constituents all the time and just wanting to do what's right, and that is remove that eyesore. I believe it has to come down either way. So we just want to get on with a project or wipe it clean and start fresh.
That's a very good update. I know have been very interested, and I think Councilwoman Binsbacher gave us some great info on that. Let's talk about two things that are great interest for the people in our area. Why don't we talk a little bit about Lake Pleasant and basically the size of Lake Pleasant and some of the amenities, and the fact is maybe some of the people aren't aware of with the two distinct areas, that one of them happens to be who kind of the ownership is on the marinas, and also about with the camping opportunity and how many visitors. It's just a phenomenal facility.
Okay, so I'm always thrilled to talk about the lake. The lake is a gem in our city that a lot of folks don't even realize is actually in the city of Peoria. It's 10,000 miles of water surface, or maybe it's 10,000 acres actually of water surface, and 116 miles of shoreline, which is a huge lake, one of the larger lakes in the state of Arizona. And so there are two marinas. There's Scorpion Bay and Pleasant Harbor. So Scorpion Bay is run by the county, and but there is a restaurant there. There is all kinds of activities there. On the Pleasant Harbor side, which is privately owned by the Maricopa Water District, there is also over 250 campsites. All kinds of water sports. They're right now just finishing up what will be the world's largest slide. I believe that's going to be opening up in April. That'll launch someone 17 feet in the air, I think it is, before they hit the water. And they're looking at some other attractions for families. They do a lot of community events there that are in many cases free to the public. We've partnered with on many of those events, and Peoria is forming a great relationship with our partners out at the lake. Over 800,000 people visit that lake every year, and we see it, like I said, as a gem and really a destination where we want to really help them market that lake and draw that lake into our city and bring our city to the lake, make them feel part of Peoria, and promote it as a destination so that will bring additional tourism and visitors to the city of Peoria. You know, that combined with a Blackstone Country Club where we are right now, a Quintero, a Cibola Vista, the spring training opportunity. We are a destination and can really attract some unbelievable tourism here. And as we grow, we're starting to tie all of that together, and it becomes part of our branding.
Talking about that, and also with the lake, I'd like to bring up people about what's going on with which is now more than a proposed, the new 120-acre park that's going to be opening when?
So we will start construction on that park this summer. I believe June of this year we'll be starting construction on that park. And we will be looking to open the park in the winter 2019-2020. So as you may have heard, there were some artifacts discovered there on that land, which is all part of development out in this area. And so that required us to do some further investigation, and as part of that development, responsible development, we need to preserve that culture. So that set us back a little bit. And then of course there's the timing of the overseeding, because when we open that park, we want those fields to be pristine, beautiful fields, multi-use fields, lighted fields, which is so needed out in this area. I think all of us, families with children, adult leagues, are all anxiously awaiting those new fields. So we want it to be perfect when we open. So we're looking at winter of 2019-20 to open that park.
Lake Pleasant, the new park, I see just tremendous growth, not only residential, but commercial opportunities. Needless to say, I think we're going to eventually see hotels coming to that area. It's just going to be a natural. If you're coming in and there's tournaments going on, whether it be softball, baseball, soccer, volleyball. I think, and also with tying in with the lake, it's just going to be a phenomenal opportunity for those who may be interested in doing either residential development or commercial development. So I'm personally very excited to see what's going on with that. Since you've been on city council, what have you found to be maybe perhaps the most interesting thing about part of your job?
You know, when my professional background was as a banker for many years. Over 20 years I worked in the financial industry and have found that experience has been really valuable in this role. But elected officials come from all different walks of life with all different backgrounds, and when you come into this job, you are exposed to so many different things, whether, it's development, traffic studies, and engineering, and how we develop a park and build a park and what goes into that. There was so much to learn coming into this, and to be at this stage in my life where I felt like I was so seasoned in my career, and in even transitioning into the nonprofit world, became very seasoned in that industry. To be an elected official and represent the people, you are constantly responding to different needs and inquiries, and I've learned so much, and it's been one of the most exciting aspects of this job is being able to have such a broad range of expertise and skill sets from our staff. We have an incredible staff in Peoria, so it's my job to lead, it's my job to be the voice for the people and understand their needs and concerns, and then I have this entire team of experts available at my disposal to give me the information I need to be able to make decisions to serve my constituents. And it's been fascinating. I mean, I don't get bored. It's something different every day, and being a representative in one of the fastest growing cities in the largest district in our city, I am constantly on the go, and it's exciting. Every day is something different, and I'm learning something all of the time. And I don't know how, some of our council members have full-time jobs and serve in this capacity. This is my full-time job, being a representative in the district. And it's the land of opportunity. We have so much growth yet to happen here. It's a blank canvas, and to be able to be a part of that and be a voice for the people and take this one opportunity to get it right, it's a fantastic opportunity. And on a personal note, Ted, I mean, we've known each other for a long time. I've raised 4 children, 2 still at home. So it's personal, the quality of life here and what we build from a public safety standpoint, our communities, how they look and feel, the culture, what commercial development we bring here, and social experiences that we bring to the future of our city. It's personal, and I share a passion for that with my constituents, and it's exciting. It's really hard to pinpoint one thing that's more interesting than the other, because it's just all exciting and something different every day. I love it. There will be a beautiful dog park. There will be shade. There will be areas that folks can reserve for private parties. There will be a lake, very similar to Rio Vista. So when you look at Rio Vista, I want to say that's 56 acres, somewhere around there, and Pioneer Park is 83. We're talking ultimately about 120 acre park, and it's going to be at the base of West Wing Mountain, so eventually that trail system will connect and go up over West Wing Mountain into that community. It's going to be an absolutely beautiful park, and we'll be doing it in phases. So obviously the first phase is going to be the fields, the dog park, basically all of the horizontal features. And then as we grow into it, we'll start to then bring in hopefully a community center and other features like that.
Very good. Bridget, I think people would find it very interesting, for those who are not aware of, that Councilwoman Binsbacher does live in Vistancia, and we are continuing this program of basically what this was called Meeting Your City Officials. We're also doing a program called Meeting Your Estancia Neighbors, and it's amazing that people are finding that a lot of people they knew they did not realize are from the same community, same city, or possibly just neighbors across the street. So Bridget, we want to thank you for being with us today. It was wonderful. And for again, Councilwoman Binsbacher, and she is our council person for the Mesquite District. And Bridget does have office hours. Do you want to give them your office phone number?
Well, people can
Or
call.
email, or whatever you prefer.
The best way to reach me is over email at bridget.binsbacher at peoriaaz.gov. I receive emails all the time. You can send me emails anytime. The main thing that I like to remind people is that I am here to serve you, to serve all of the citizens. And so when you have concerns or ideas or suggestions, I'm always open to that. And my job is to serve all of you, and that's what we're here for. So reach out to me anytime.
Bridget, thank you very much for being with us
Thanks
today.
for having me.
Always a pleasure,
Thank
Councilwoman.
you.